Good Tuesday morning. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, coming to you today with a few things to talk about, starting with the fact that Blinkin has decided to just go back to the Ukraine and hold hands again with the little guy over there and his ministry. And to just brag about the $60 billion in military aid that we're going to be just handing to them one more time, because our Congress has decided to push this thing through with a Speaker of the House that had no backbone to stop it. And it's been approved, and he's over there glad-handing over this whole fact because he's going to get this stuff in before the election, and giving the view of the election numbers that are out there now with regard to some polling that's being done. They decided to have their way because they see now the possibility that Biden will not be there to do this for them any longer. And anyone coming in, whether it's Trump or not, is going to have probably second thoughts about funding this war that can't be won. And they know it. Their population knows it. And Zelensky is just lining his retirement program with this money and what they can do with whatever Blinkin is over there promising in the near future. Blinkin visited the Ukraine on Tuesday on an unannounced diplomatic mission to reassure the country amid the war with Russia that we are just fully behind him, and so is the Congress, and so is Mr. Biden. Well, when does this come to an end? When the border gets shut? Hopefully. We can't see that in the near future with this particular administration. And after arriving in Kiev, Blinken is expected to meet with all the senior Ukraine officials and highlight the United States' enduring support of the Ukraine. Why? You have to ask yourself the question, why? Why is this being done? Why are we reassuring a losing proposition of enduring support? While at the same time, Blinken tells Israel to get out of Gaza, that we're not going to no longer support their efforts, but yet we're going to dump another $60 billion into the Ukraine. On the same bill that was approved by Congress, they're going to retract everything that was promised to Israel, only to get this $60 billion through for our little buddy in the Ukraine. It's a sickening state of affairs that we're in. And in a statement released after Biden's arrival, the State Department said it would not meet with President Vladimir Zelensky, where his Ukraine Prime Minister denies shameful and Foreign Minister Dmytro Kulebov to discuss battlefield updates. Why are we mixing in their battlefield plans and updates of what they're having the hell beat out of them, and we're not recognizing it because we have people in these jobs such as Blinken who has no business being there, has no acumen for that job or understanding of what the job really entails. And then in the meantime, he's delivering a strong public rebuke of Israel. Come on. This is almost as funny as, hanging your hat on Michael Cohen to be the death of Donald Trump. Come on. You can't make these things up. It's like Joe Biden's interview with CNN. Within 17 minutes, they have fact-checked and proven a lie a minute. 15 minutes of lies out of a 17-minute segment on CNN. No consequences. Mainstream media not mentioning a word about it, but CNN is realizing, and they softballed the heck out of it by not questioning when he said out and out that when he took over, there was 9 point something percent unemployment. That's wrong. And she should have called him on it. Or asked him, well, what is your plan for, how did you reduce it? What are you talking about? No, not a question, just another softball question that he can lie about. And in 15 lies in 17 minutes. And then when she did bring up a couple of points for him to answer, this is the look you got. Like he was amazed that he's heard this for the first time. And then continued to lie. So today marks Blinkin's fourth trip to Kiev since Russia invaded the Ukraine in February of 2022. Despite the frequency to the region, Kiev and Moscow are no closer to ending their fighting because no one wants to go to a table and work out the original deal that was there until Boris Johnson was sent in by Biden to cancel it. They ripped up that agreement, which could have put an end to all of this. And then we go to New York with Michael Cohen to take the stand for the second day in the New York versus Trump trial, kangaroo trial. This guy is a convicted felon and a liar. And if they're hanging their hat on this to sway a jury, well, we already know the jury is already going to be tainted by the nonsense that the judge let go on with Stormy Daniels. Well, I guess we need to talk about something better than what's going on in politics right now, because none of it is any good. We have a desperation attempt at trying to save the Biden presidency in whatever hope he had of election, but he says all the polls are false, so we have to believe him, like we've believed him on everything else that turned out to be not exactly what we thought they were going to be. Anyway, we have a rainy day here going on in East Tennessee. Rainy days and Mondays were one thing, but now it's Tuesday, second day of threatening rain that did not hit us very hard yesterday as suspected, but I think we're in for it today because we woke up to very cloudy skies this morning and a very cool morning. So we may be getting a little rain today. But I hope that the flooding situation in the midsection of the United States has not gotten any worse, and I hope that the people that were affected by it, God help them, and hopefully they'll get some help from either their states or whatever's left of FEMA after bleeding them dry to take care of illegal aliens that are filled this country up to, they can keep saying 11 million, they're admitting to, but it's we have it on good faith through the reporting of J.J. Carroll, and a few of the other Border Patrol people from the past and present that claim that there's probably closer to 20 million that have been peppered through this country. And I'm sure with the hopes of changing the voting efforts of the Democratic Party, along with changing the population through census to allow manipulation of the voting districts and things of that nature that can be affected by population. So even the ones that aren't going to illegally vote will find their way into the system somehow through census and affect the overall voting of different districts. Well, it's going to be a fun time for the next 5.5 months that we're looking at before this election, and the Lord only knows what is going to take place and what more manipulation that we will see from both sides of the aisle. But we know that the Democrats can hold their things together, stick together through thick and thin, while the Republicans cannot manage to pull that off. And it's sad, and they'll call you daily now trying to get you to give to the Republican Party. And as I told one person on the phone this morning, until you get the rhinos under control and get the people out of the seats and replace them with really good candidates for both the House and the Senate, don't ask me for any money. And I implore you, if they're asking you for money, don't give it to them. They're using Donald Trump right now because of his numbers and because of the rally attendees that they saw. And they think now they can use the Trump name to fill the coffers of the GOP. And then, as they did before, will turn on Donald Trump the minute they have their coffers filled and get their next set of rhinos in place that don't want to leave. And until they come up with, and this applies to both parties, term limits for these seats, I'm not going to be happy. And it is time that we do what our founding fathers decided should be the way to come out of a successful walk of life. Go in and do your civic duty to your country and get out of there and go back to that walk of life that you were successful in, and hopefully have brought some of that successfulness into the seat that you're going to occupy, to write our laws, to make sure that the Constitution is upheld, and go from there. But we can no longer put up with people sitting 30, 40, 50 years in a seat, accomplishing nothing, sitting in hearings, asking stupid questions to stupid people and getting stupid answers and saying, oh, I've done my job. Your job was to do the will of the people who elected you to that position in the first place. And if you have not accomplished that, then you have not done your job. And that applies to half of the people or more that are sitting in those positions today, taking up space, making money hand over fist, and no one questions why or how. And then when they leave that office, even if they're not reelected, they get to keep all the goodies of a pension and health care and things of that nature for life. How would you enjoy a job like that? You look at people like Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer. These people are non-productive individuals that have found a bastion that they can relax in and get paid and never work a day in their life. Being in politics is not a job. It's something you do to give back to your country and uphold the Constitution and the oath you took to get into that seat should be sacred to you, but these people spit on it. And we allowed it. And we've gotten more and more complacent in our outlook on our government over the last couple of decades and allowed it to get worse and worse. So we need to rethink the down ballot and the congressional races this year more than we ever have in the past. And there is no way in heck that this administration should be left in power for any reason whatsoever. We have seen now the result of what can happen when we're not paying attention and we're not keeping our politicians honest. Now we have Menendez going to trial to talk about the stored gold bars and all the stuff that he managed to accumulate in his term in there. And you have to ask, why would no one ask the question of someone like he or AOC or any of these people that came in as freshmen with nothing in their pocket and then end up after a first term quite well off? Why would someone not want an accountability for that? It's beyond me. Look at Pelosi. Wicked old witch that she is, has made millions of dollars because of her position. And for no other reason. It's not because she went out and earned it. She earned the right to be elected to a seat. Look at her own district in San Francisco. Look what's happened to it. Look at New York City. Look at LA. Denver is on its way now to becoming another one of those cities. It's a shame. These are places that you used to want to save to get to for a vacation, and now you would take your life in your hands. You have to walk through San Francisco and step over excrement in the streets. Human, not dog stuff. That's like going to Hades. It's hard to believe what's taken place in this country and what we have allowed and put up with right up to current day activities on university campuses that was let happen. Not in Florida. They tried, but within 15 minutes they were cleared out. It doesn't happen when you don't want it to happen. It happens when it's allowed to happen because you want it to happen. Because the indoctrination factories that you call the elite universities have changed and have been changing before your very eyes. And this is the end result. You have children that have been indoctrinated with certain ways of life that were not what our Constitution stipulated it should be, or what the founders of these universities wrote in their prefaces. Thank God for people like J.K. Rowling that will fight back against it. But there's darn few people that are willing to take that risk because they'll be called names, conspiracy theorist, racist, or worse. And for a bunch of people, and most of these campus sit-in people are not even students. These are paid agitators that go in and set up these encampments and make you think that these are the students. But they get the students, the brainwashed ones, to come out and join them and yell, "River to the sea," not understanding what that means. Or any of the history of that region that dates back thousands of years of strife. There was never a Palestinian land, ever. It was ruled by the Turks. But you have to understand history, and you have to have been taught history back when they taught history, not fractured fairy tales that these professors and these high school teachers are indoctrinating your children with. The math scores, reading scores, science scores, they're all down. There's a reason for that. They're graduating teacher after teacher with bad teaching habits that are in the schools now teaching your offspring, some cases, disinformation and fractured history. And we've allowed this. I've always said this all started with the Montessori school system, where everybody got a time out. Our military cannot conscript people or get people to join any longer because they took on a woke agenda. Because the people who run the military that are appointed by this administration have managed to bring that nonsense into the military realm, and people are afraid of it. So we end up with numbers that cannot be reached as far as recruitment. In all of the services, less so in the Marine Corps, thank goodness, but all the other services are having a hard time with recruitment. Then the big news today is the world is starting to wonder why there's a shortage of babies. Well, let me just take a brief look at that. Number one, you have abortion going on. Number two, you have foodstuffs that are not conducive to reproductive therapy. And also, you have a drug problem worldwide with fentanyl and whatever else that they're putting out and now they're talking about that there is a rash of phony pills that are out with things in it that will cause you harm or death. These are things and the reason why new births are dwindling. But if you have to ask yourself the question, would you want to bring a child into this world the way it is right now? You'd have to say, I don't know that I'd want to do that. It wouldn't be fair to the child with what's going on in the world today. So that's one look at things. And the rest of the world is... Germany announced yesterday that they're going to bring back the draft, the military draft, and they're going to do it for male and female, just in case somebody that's trying to be drafted, a man, decides that he'd like to be a woman. With the new woke situation that's going on, that's not going to help them. They'll still draft them. They are preparing for war. They are preparing for World War III. With Russia, with them not remembering back the last time they had war with Russia, it didn't work out so well for them. We'll get sucked into that as well. We do need to bring back a draft if we are to keep our military services strong. We understand that. But will they do it? No, they won't do it in this administration because that could cost them a vote somewhere. Which is a remarkable way to look at your service to your country as the President of the United States, but hard to believe what takes place today and what's considered normal today. I watched a farmer talk this morning about, he has an organic farm in Virginia, and he had recently had visitors that came up from Sam's Club or Costco, one of the big buyers, and they took a tour of the organic farm, and when they were done, they were quite impressed by everything, including what they had to taste that was made for them there on the farm. And one of the top executives said to the farmer, how do we get your product into our stores? And the farmer looked at him and said, first thing you have to do is allow a small truck to back into your loading docks, and you won't let that happen. And that was the end of the conversation because they clammed up and said, no, we have to have tractor trailers only. So how much do they really want to service you with real organic food and beef and things of that nature to where it's healthier for you? It will let you sleep better. It will take care of your health. It will build your immune system, going back to the land with unfettered with vegetables and meats, quality meats, cheeses, milk, things of that nature that our ancestors thrived upon. When you start to doctor your foods, it makes you ill. It's a proven fact. Why is the attack on cattle right now looming? Because Bill Gates has, invested heavily in fake food, that he wants to have everything made in a laboratory and call it meat. Well, look how well all the Burger King and the people that came out with the fake meat burgers that had great taste, but it turned out that it was worse for your health because of the fats in it and some chemicals that were used and whatever else they used to process this stuff. It was worse for you calorie-wise and health-wise than real meat. Speaking of, our sponsor here is Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop. located in Kingsport, Tennessee, which has all of the unfettered meats that you need that will be healthier for you, such as cattle raised the proper way by a local farmer, along with your pork and your chicken and eggs and cheese and things of that nature, and hot dogs with no fillers. This farmer that was speaking today to the Costco people, or Sam's Club people, I think it was Costco, out of Alabama. Anyway, he mentioned that it's illegal for him to produce the pure hot dogs with just beef and pork in the state of Virginia. He has to take his raw product, send it to Pennsylvania, have them make the hot dogs out of it, and then ship it back to him, which makes it cost prohibitive to the end user. That's not the case here in Tennessee, and it's not the case at Lazy J Farms. So you need to contact them. They will ship to your door the real product that you should be eating. And you can find them even on Facebook at Lazy J Farms, or email them at lazyjfarms.com. And we're proud to have them as our sponsor here. And I do buy all of my meat products and chicken products, such as eggs and cheese, from them now. It's healthier for us. I feel better with it. I sleep better. And this is what organic food will do for you. And I've told you early this spring, get a garden put in and grow your own vegetables. And if you can find heirloom seeds or heirloom plants, put them in and enjoy fresh, real food. It's becoming cost prohibitive when you go into McDonald's and order a Big Mac meal and find out it's $18 by the time it's all said and done. So you can live cheaper and buy quality. And remember the old adage that poor pay more. That you can go and buy cheap food. It's going to cost you in health care, and it's going to cost you because of the quantities and also the sugars and the things that are added to these products are not good for your overall health and your immune system. And everyone knows this. We all were raised with this knowledge, but it's easy to go to fast foods, and there are families, unfortunately, because of the economy, that are living on fast food products that are not good for them. So that means there's more visits to the doctor, there's more visits to the walk-in clinics and the emergency rooms. These are things that are going to cost you more money in the long run. So pay for a good product and live healthier. So not a whole much more going on in the world other than, I told you about Germany. And there's a push now in France to get involved in some things that are maybe not good. And then we've got the New York trial that is tying up our candidate that cannot go out and do what he needs to do as a candidate for president, because he has got a gag order against him. He can't talk back to the people that are accusing him, falsely or not, of anything without being fined for saying something. And we have now been brought to understand that you have a totally crooked court system going on right there with what they're doing to Donald Trump. And it's a travesty, but I'm encouraged to see the people getting a hold of the truth and getting out And that rally that he had in a blue state like New Jersey, in my mind, should tell the people behind this isn't working. So why do this to this person? I am really afraid that if this doesn't work, they'll try something even more sinister. But we'll live to see it, I guess, unless Blinkin makes a mistake over there and blows up something he shouldn't. Army officers are resigning their commission over the U.S. Support of both the Israeli conflict and the Ukraine conflict because they're not being listened to. The ones that have the knowledge are leaving and then being replaced by Biden picks that are less than knowledgeable about what is really going on or have the experience to get us through what's going on militarily. There's major concerns making money from both of these conflicts, and it's the military-industrial complex that are pulling in the dollars. The same as they don't want you eating healthy, so the pharmaceutical companies can rake in the dollars. And that's what it's all about. And I don't know if one person can change this. I highly doubt that that can happen, especially in one term. But let's hope for the best. That's all we can do. Hope and pray that things will turn around. So let's stay with prayer and hope and go from there. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. We love you here at the Kaiser Report. And we hope that you will subscribe and share this with your friends. And for those that have subscribed and support this channel, God bless you, and God bless you all from the Kaiser Report. Bye-bye now.
Lazy J Farms has been raising the finest cattle and all-natural pork for 3 generations on the family farm in Fall Branch. Their blonde Aquitaine herd offers a leaner, healthier, and more tasteful beef. And the butcher shop is local, farm to table, and 100% authentic. This is the way your grandfather shot for me, with steaks cut to order, quality assured, and ready to ship to your door. Open Thursday through Saturday on Bloomingdale Road in Kingsport. Come see us.
Just tell them Kaiser sent me. They'll appreciate it. Bye.